you so much for joining me today. Today's video is another installment of what I'm reading. It is getting chilly outside. We're supposed to have our first snow of the year, of the season today. So it's definitely time to curl up with a hot cup of tea or coffee or hot chocolate and read a good book. And that's what I've been doing a lot of. So I wanted to share some of the books that I'm reading and rereading this winter. Plus, I love a good book tapping, and hopefully you do as well. So let's get straight to it. I'll start with the book that I just finished reading, or should I say rereading. This is my third time reading The Left Hand of Darkness. The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Le Guin. And it's definitely in my top 5 favorite books of all time. Lefthand. The Left Hand of Darkness is a science fiction novel. It is about a Earth envoy who is sent to an alien planet to try and get them to join an intergalactic trade federation, essentially. So they are trying to convince the monarchs and government officials of this alien planet to join what's called the Ecumen, which is an intergalactic organization. So there's lots of political intrigue because the envoy is trying to conduct diplomacy. But the reason it's the perfect winter read is that the alien planet is a winter planet. It is cold, it is snowy, it is desolate. A lot of the plot takes place in the cold and the snow. So the Earth envoy has to learn to survive in this harsh environment. And the other thing that makes this alien planet unique is that although the aliens look like humans, they are human-like, they are completely genderless. So the envoy has to come to terms with his own feelings and prejudices regarding gender and gender roles and the role that gender takes in forming societies and politics and really just how we live life on Earth. It's considered to be the first work of feminist science fiction. It was written in 1969, and I just can't imagine reading this book when it came out. It would have just completely blown my mind. But I absolutely adore this book. This copy was given to me as a gift after I read it the first time, and this was my third time reading it. So who knows when I'll read it again, but this time reading it, it hit me so hard. I was in tears multiple times throughout the story. I won't give anything away, but it just really moved me. I've always found this to be a very moving story, but I was just extra moved this time around. I thought it was so incredible. I'm in awe of her writing. I really think that you should check this book out. The book that I am reading currently is The Three-Body Problem. The Three-Body, Problem. And this is another reread. I'm rereading this book because I read it for the first time many years ago and I don't remember anything that happens. My husband recently read it for the first time and loved it and wanted to be able to talk about it together. So I'm rereading it. I'm definitely enjoying it more the second time around than I was the first time. The first time I just found the plot really difficult to keep track of, and I don't know whether I'm more focused this time or it's because I have read it at least once before, even if I don't remember it. But I am finding it a lot easier to follow on the reread. I know that the show is also out. I don't know if I'll watch it or not, but if I finish this book and like it, I probably will read the other books in the trilogy. For those of you who don't know, The Three-Body Problem is another science fiction book. It won the Hugo Award, which is an award for science fiction. It takes place in China after the Cultural Revolution and follows a scientist as just strange, a physicist to be more specific, as strange events start occurring and he is trying to get to the bottom of it. A lot of the book takes place inside a simulated video game where the main character is on an alien world, or so he thinks, and they essentially are trying to calculate the planet's orbit around the sun, and it's more challenging than you would think. So that's not a very good summary, but so much happens in this book. It's incredibly dense. It follows a lot of subplots, so there's definitely a lot going on. So I think it is good to reread it and be a little bit familiar with it, even in my subconscious. So I'm about halfway through right now. I'll probably finish it in the next week and a half, maybe, if I am diligent, but we'll see. This next book is called The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I talked about Stephen Graham Jones in my last book reading video. I was reading his book Buffalo Hunter, which is a thriller horror novel. This is also a thriller horror novel. It follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them on a desperate struggle for their lives. It's like a revenge novel. The Buffalo Hunter is also a revenge novel. Stephen Graham Jones is a Native American author. He's a member of the Blackfeet tribe, and he really likes reading or writing about revenge. It's a common theme for his novels, from what I can tell. This is only the second book that I'll have read by Stephen Graham Jones, but that's 2 for 2 on revenge. I think this is one of his earlier novels, if not his first novel. But it says a tale of revenge, cultural identity, and the cost of breaking from tradition in this latest novel from the Jordan Peele of horror literature, Stephen Graham Jones. I don't quite know what that means, but I do like Jordan Peele movies, so hopefully it will be a good blend. I did like Buffalo Hunter x Hunter. The writing style was very interesting and unique. But I did like Buffalo Hunter x Hunter. So I decided that I'll check out The Only Good Indians as well. This next book is called Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. Dawn. I love this cover. I think it's so gorgeous and vibrant. So pretty and vibrant with the colors. I got this book out. I checked this book out from my local library because it was recommended to me by the internet, saying that if you like The Left Hand of Darkness and Ursula Le Guin's Hainish cycle, then you'll probably like Octavia Butler's Lilith's Brood novels. This is, I believe, the first book in the Lilith's Brood novels, which I don't think are necessarily a series, but more like an anthology that you can read in order, but you don't have to. I'm not sure, but I'm starting with the first one anyway. And this is kind of a reverse Left Hand of Darkness, where aliens are coming to Earth as opposed to Earthlings going abroad in space. It says, when Lilith Iapo wakes from a deep sleep, she finds herself aboard a vast spaceship, haunted by confused memories of a nuclear war that ravaged the world. She discovers that she is being held by the Oankali, a seemingly benevolent alien race that intervened in the humans' extinction, rescuing the survivors from their ruined planet and placing them in a coma-like sleep for centuries. Now, the restored Earth is ready for inhabitants, and the Oankali want Lilith to help awaken the rest of the survivors and rebuild humankind. But the Oankali have needs of their own, and salvation comes at a price. Soon, Lilith must choose how much of humanity she is willing to sacrifice for the future of her race. Sounds interesting to me. If you can't tell, I really do like sci-fi. It took me a while to kind of admit that, because I feel like I have just read so much bad sci-fi that I thought that I didn't like the genre as a whole. But I do think that good sci-fi is so powerful and poses such interesting thought experiments. So I'm hoping that this lives up to the hype, or at least the recommendation that I got from internet strangers. Next we have the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. Big, I think this is an acacia tree. The Poisonwood Bible. This book is one of my mom's favorite books. I didn't actually know what it was about, but I've seen it on her shelf for forever, and she brings it up a lot of the time. So I thought that I would give it a try and see what she likes so much about it. This is one of my mom's favorite books and my mom's favorite authors. The Poisonwood Bible is a story told by the wife and 4 daughters of Nathan Price, a fierce evangelical Baptist who takes his family in mission to the Belgian Congo in 1959. They carry with them everything they believe they will need from home, but soon find that all of it, from garden seeds to scripture, is calamitously transformed on African soil. What follows is a suspenseful epic of one family's tragic undoing and the remarkable reconstruction over the course of 3 decades in post-colonial Africa. I am interested to read more about this period of history, particularly in Congolese history, which was such a tragic and important time in post-colonial history in the Congo after Belgian occupation. I really hope that the author handles it well, but I do trust my mom's recommendation, so we'll see how it goes. This obviously is not sci-fi, it is historical fiction, which I do read on occasion, but not as often. Often if I read something set in an earlier time period, it's because it was written in said earlier time period. I've been trying to read more classics, so those were obviously set in earlier time periods, even though they were contemporary for the author. So this is on my list to be read. And I love the sound of the cover. And then finally, we have a book called Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I have had this book. I have been in the queue for this book for the library since March. I was number 246 in the queue. I've been waiting for this book for months. More sci-fi, surprise, surprise. So this book has definitely gotten really popular. I know a movie is coming out soon based on the book. I honestly don't know anything about what it's about, but it was recommended in a lot of like top books of the year list for last year. So I've been waiting to get my hands on it. It's about like a desperate last chance bid to save the earth. Sounds suspenseful. I don't want to spoil too much of it for myself. I kind of want to go in blind because all I know is that it was really hyped up, but I don't necessarily know why, so I want to go in blind. I'm just gonna read it and see what happens. If you have read this book, please no spoilers in the comments. But this rounds out my winter reading list. So we have, as you can see, a lot of sci-fi, a little bit of historical fiction, a little bit of horror, but I've just really been on a sci-fi kick recently. That started with rereading Left Hand of Darkness and just made me want more science fiction. I love Left Hand of Darkness so much, I wish I could reread it for the first time. But yet, rereading it each subsequent time brings out more meaning for me, so maybe it's good. I'd love to hear about what you are reading right now, or what you look forward to reading in the coming months. As I said, the weather is definitely getting colder, so it's the perfect time to cozy up with a blanket, a little cup of something, and lose yourself in a book. I hope that you are having a safe and warm winter, and I'll see you in the next video. Good night. Good night. Good night.